Here we go. It's episode 59, and that is fine. Let me say real quick, first of all, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate everyone listening, and thank you very much to our guest today, Chris Illabaca of Breach Apparel. Very excited, very, very fun to connect with Chris. I'm so glad that he was willing and able to come on the podcast and share the story of Breach and share some back history of his own story with myself and with you guys. So big thanks to him. You know, if this episode is about anything, it's probably about community. So I just want to give a special shout out to everyone that's a part of this community. Much love to all you guys. Let's get into it. Let's not fanny about. We'll just hype this up a little bit real quick. There's another thing it's about, and it's about vibes. Community and vibes. So we got a vibe going right now. And I'll let you guys ride that vibe right into the episode, okay? Much love. I'll see you guys at the end of this one.
Yeah, so I'll probably just go from the very start, man.
Let's go from the beginning, yeah.
I can hear my daughter just like screaming in the background, so if anyone can pick up on that audio, I'm really sorry about that. Like, it's literally just that time of the evening here in the UK, so yeah, I'll go from the start, man. Like, so I grew up with, yes, Daniel Ilabaca, as I'm sure some of you guys know. When I was growing up, he was just kind of like an annoying brother that just wanted to climb on absolutely everything. Like, everywhere we went, he was fidgeting or doing something, and I found myself quite often being the one to be like, get down, just come here, just conform kind of thing. But he was just never going to. But my parents always created the environment for us to explore and to not be afraid of things, and, you know, just take life on kind of thing. So that sort of like led to the sort of childhood that we had, which obviously consisted of dressing up as ninjas and climbing along walls and climbing trees. And me and my older brother got into rollerblading from a very young age, and sort of Daniel came along and got involved in all of that. But we were Daniel was already doing like elements of what you could call parkour / free running. He was already doing it, and I actually remember so vividly the first time I came into contact with parkour and free running was, I don't know if you remember the TV show Ripley's Believe It or Not.
That was my first contact with it too. Yeah, exactly. I do remember that.
Yeah, 2001, they did an episode with the Yamakasi. And I remember I literally sat through the first 2-minute opening of it, and I was just like, oh.
Exactly, yeah, jaw on the floor.
I shouted Danny, I was just like, Danny, you've got to come and see. So he like runs downstairs, and obviously we're just glued to the TV screen, just like, what is this? You know what I mean? And that was like the first introduction to it. And then obviously from there, we didn't have like a VCR or anything plugged in. There was no DVR, and we weren't recording that. So everything that we saw went straight into the brain. Yeah. And then that night it was like, let's go out and go and try this stuff. This looks amazing. So that's sort of how it started for me. And obviously the internet was around in 2001. We do remember that. So obviously straight on the interwebs to see what is going on. What is this thing all about? And that was it. We just sort of threw ourselves into it. I remember Daniel just picked it up super quick, like just came very, very natural to him to sort of climb up on walls and jumping off things and doing gaps, and even just basic vaults and stuff like that, was picking it up so quick. And then obviously I was just like, I need a camera. I was just like, I need a camera. I need to film this because like, this is special. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one, I can't imagine in my mind in those days, I was like, no one else is doing this. Do you know what I mean? I thought, we're the only ones that have seen this episode. It's got to be just us and the French guys. You know what I mean? So yeah, we just went with it, man. And I remember asking my dad for let me just put my phone on.
No worries.
I remember asking my dad for a camera that Christmas. I was just like, Dad, we're going to need a camera. People need to see the world. Well, the world needs to see what Daniel's doing. Yeah. And then that was it, man. It just started off this whole journey into parkour and free running.
Yeah. Wow. You're not wrong, man. That's, you know, that's so cool that you had that family environment too, because I remember seeing the same thing you saw when I was about 12 years old or 11 or something like this. Yeah. And I remember just thinking, my mom would never let me. That was like why I didn't get started right when you did. You know, that's like, I was like, that's not gonna, I won't be allowed. I won't be like allowed to do it. 10 years later, I'm doing it anyways. You can't stop what's inside you, you know? So it's important.
To be fair, they did really sell it on Ripley's. I mean, it was like, this is so dangerous. You should not try.
No, fair enough. I mean, and like, you know, and that's not really something I'm going to put on my parents. Like, they're just trying to look out for my best interests. And, you know, I could have just still done it anyways. You know, I didn't do it, but, you know, it's not really their fault, but I do feel like it's cool that you did feel like you were encouraged to do that, you know, and that's, and I was too, just in different ways, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to blame, but that's really amazing. And obviously, yes, with Danny, you know, becoming now, you know, that, you know, for those who don't know the story, because it is worth telling, you know, like obviously Danny became one of the most prominent free runners, parkour practitioners in the whole of the world. And through the videos you guys produced, you know, maybe we could talk about that era a little bit, because you know, for anyone that has an understanding of that generation, Danny and the videos you guys produced were like and for some people still are the high watermark for, you know, that era, that whole movement that was happening.
It was all vibes, man. It was all vibes.
And it was all vibes, yeah.
Yeah, so like basically I obviously thought Daniel was the only one doing this. I was like, people need to see it. So that was my original motivation for picking up a camera. I remember he gave it to us the day before Christmas Eve, and we went straight out. And that was it. We just started filming things, started going on the internet, looking at videos, just downloading clips off the internet and just watching things over and over again and just practicing. And then obviously around that same time, we became aware of like a group in London that were doing stuff through a Channel 4 documentary called Jump London that I'm sure a lot of people will remember from back in the day. And that was like mind blowing, because at that point we were like, actually there's guys in our country that do this as well. Yeah. And that was the sort of point where we were like, we wanted to reach out. And obviously I had my driving license, Daniel didn't have his. So at the first opportunity, the first memorings of a gathering in London, I think it was like one of the second or the third large parkour gatherings in London, right at the beginning of this whole wave that everybody's on. We were there, man, and we met up with people like Chase Armitage, and there's a few other guys that were at that event, Luke Markey, some of the urban free flow guys from back in the day. And yeah, like people were just amazing. And like straight away I was just like, wow, this is like a whole community. Like there's loads of people doing this, and I just caught that vibe straight away, and I was just like, I'm just going to throw myself into this, because I felt like it was the beginning of something special. It was something completely new and fresh. I think I go back to like the beginning of skateboarders and what that must have felt like to be in those 100%. Times, and like things were happening every day. That was like groundbreaking. And I mean, they still are now, because progression's always going to be a thing, but things were happening every day, and it was just such a mad time to be alive and be a part of all of that. So obviously my passions lay in content creating, so I didn't really have the same physical abilities and parkour abilities as some of the rest of the guys. I mean, I dabbled, you know what I mean? I could do my little bit, you know what I'm saying? I had to get on rooftops to film some things sometimes, so you know, I had to be capable to some level. So then I just started recording videos, man, and that was it. Started the YouTube channel. Me and Daniel were just driving down to either Cambridge, Basingstoke, or London. Literally every weekend we'd just go down there, film solidly for the 2 days, over the weekend, drive straight back up north, edit it, get the video out. So much footage that never ever got released. It's like literally obviously, you know, that we linked with Scott Bass over the years and stuff like that. So at the moment he's actually got a big haul of tapes, something stupid like 250 tapes of little DV tapes for those youngsters that might not know. We used to record on these little tiny tapes. So there's just so much there. But yeah, it just sort of just grew to this thing, this beast that we have right now, you know? Yeah, it's just like globally known. It's absolutely a beast. And yeah, it's just amazing to be a part of that. And, you know, I caught onto the wave as it was even larger, and it started to, you know, carry over into the United States. And there's similar things happening there. We're always a little bit like 5 to 10 years behind you guys, it seems like. Man, you guys are on it though, man. Like, I mean, we're all on it now. Yeah, we're all about it these days. And but you know, it's always amazing to, you know, I'm always feel really grateful to have visited some of these spots and seen some of the UK and you know, been
I haven't gone over to France, but just diving deeper into the history of the discipline and things is always an enriching experience.
Sure.
There was, there's kind of, there was this huge peak there, and, we're kind of describing now. And there was a lot happening. And of course, like, you're making all these amazing videos and things are blowing up. For a while, there was, and before we get to Breach and like what's happening with that, I want to dive into a little bit, just how did that, there was kind of like a quieter time. And I'm wondering what happens in between, that amazing peak where you're making these epic videos, and then there's kind of this, all right, where is, the Illabaca crew? Where are the videos stopped trickling out, and what was happening?
So obviously a common misconception would be that Daniel stopped moving.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't necessarily stop moving. He just stopped wanting to be recorded. I don't know. Obviously, I can't speak for Daniel and who he is as a person. Anyone who's met him will know that he's quite a complex, deep character, but got a massive heart. And obviously, for him at that time, he just wanted to move away from filming and being in front of the camera, and was actually at that particular time just enjoying having camera equipment and experimenting with things. So, like I say, there's still endless reams and reams of tapes and things that just never got released. But during that time, I met my partner, my wife, and fell in love madly, deeply. And I just threw myself into Gina. That's her name. And obviously, I knew straight away that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. And we were best friends beforehand, and sort of like we hung around with each other. So when it initially we connected, it was like all that awkwardness just didn't exist because we were already so close. So it just sort of evolved from there. And obviously, I'm a dad now. So
that dad parkour life.
So basically, that's sort of what happened, man. I just did like life for a little bit and sort of stepped away. I guess I stepped away from the community. I always kept in contact. I was following everybody's YouTube. I was following everybody on Instagram, and I could see absolutely everything. But obviously, in that time, I was just like paying bills and providing for my family.
That dad life,
just living that dad life, man. And like the good thing with that though is that that's always something that's something that I always wanted. I always wanted to be a dad. I always wanted to have that experience, and so that's how I did it. I did it around at that age, and my eldest is will be 7 this year, and I've got one that's just turned 2 as well. So I've got 2 girls, and they're amazing, man. They just make life.
Congratulations!
They make it beautiful as well, man. You know what I mean?
That's what my parents say.
It's like one of the greatest roller coasters you can ever go on. But I just want to raise 2 wonderful children that'll go on to inspire and be peers in their friendship groups and continue to break these boundaries that the Illabaca family has always done. To be fair, that's sort of where I'm at right now. And then Breach came out of nowhere, man. That just became a thing.
Yeah, how did it come out of nowhere? I mean, I love this story, by the way. I just want to touch base real quick. It's just like, I think a lot of people have felt like there's eras. There's something about the way that parkour accesses you to self growth and like self actualization that you really do feel always pulled in by that internal compass. And the internal compass isn't always the path that stays right where everyone thinks that you ought to be in the parkour community. And that's really important. I think people are really realizing that more and more as everyone starts to find themselves and grow into themselves a little bit more as the community ages and becomes more mature. It's really actually amazing to see people kind of spread out, do their thing. And then again, now we're back, then you find where you really you find your place back in just 100%. In yourself, and then that translates into community. So how did Breach come to be?
So again, I probably have to go back to the start just to explain why it never happened all those years ago, because I know for a lot of people they're like, why now? And that's a very valid question, and obviously this is a great platform and a way to kind of articulate sort of how it's come to be now and why it didn't happen then. So if we rewind and go back to all those years ago, so maybe flashback 10 years, when, as you said, it was at the peak, and sort of Daniel was known like all over the world, and people wanted us to go and meet with them. So there was communities from Mexico and Brazil and Japan, and all around the world, all over Europe. There was people that wanted us to go to them and go and train and go and meet with them. So a lot of the times, small communities, parkour communities in different parts of the world would get together and raise money with their like local councils or their local governors and fund our flights and put on an event, and we do workshops, and this was happening quite frequently. And obviously me and Daniel found ourselves traveling all over the world and just meeting up with this, like, the communities are the same everywhere you go. It's just all love, and like it was just such an amazing journey to be on. And in that time, I pretty much said to Daniel, like, dude, like, wouldn't it be amazing if we could do something where we could put our own creativity and time into, and the money that we get from that will enable us to go to these communities and meet with these people that want to meet with us, and they don't have to put any work in. We can just do it and create content and just continue to do it. And then obviously that's just not what Daniel wanted. So at that particular time, he just completely I guess I wouldn't say that he put the blockers on it, but it's not what he wanted. So at that particular time in my life, I didn't really have the levels of motivation to just be like, well, I'm just going to do it anyway. So I didn't. And then obviously fast forward to now, I love this community, man, like literally. And the guys that we've got on our team, like just literally just completely like opened their arms, man. And they just reconnecting with the community just lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. So just to give a bit of background into what Breach is, Breach is just a community thing, man. The way I see it is that as parkour guys, the only thing you need is clothes. So you can either go shop at Adidas, you can shop at Nike, you can shop with Farang, you can shop with Star, you can shop with whoever you want. But the thing is when you come into our store and you buy our products, what you're getting is a community-run project who cares about the opportunities that I want to create for the lads that we've got on board. I want to take them around the world. Life is the big adventure, and if we can do this and we can continue to create content and bring something to the community, and that's perfect for me. So obviously the main motivation behind me starting this, so just to give you a bit of background of what I'm doing. So like I'm a manager of a flooring center, I wouldn't say it's the most boring job, but it's not what I want to do, but I will give it everything that I have because I'm providing for my family. So financially, we're in a good place. But obviously, since my father passed away, he was the main breadwinner of the household, and I wanted to create something that we could collectivize as a family and put our time, our energy, and our creativity into, and then be blessed as a result of that kind of thing. So yeah, like it obviously came natural to sort of steer into the parkour community because it's what I know, like, and in my heart, like all the people that I'm connecting with, just like I've been blown away from start to where I am right now. From the start, it's just been like crazy, man, crazy. So I want to go into that just real quickly. So like how we connected and that sort of happened. So when it first started, it's just kind of been me and my younger brother, Stevie. So I don't know if any of you guys know of SD Thomas or SD Illabaca on Instagram. Mad crazy photographing skills. He's like really into like his urban exploring and stuff like that, and obviously had like a little background in parkour. We just got together and I just said, hey, look, man, like we've always wanted to do this. Let's just do it now. There's no time like the present. So it just begun from there. And I was like, man, I really need to reconnect with the community. It's been so long since I like actually went and met with people. So this perfect excuse came up, and it was actually the start of 1 million subscriber party down in London. Oh, wow. Which I can't believe was like not even that long ago. It was like just over a year ago.
What do they have, 5 million almost now?
They're flying, man. Shout out to the Star.
Yeah, shout out Store Gang. I got like I gotta pimp the studio out. I want to like I have it in my bedroom now, but I got some favorite.
They're honestly, man, what those guys have done for like parkour and like just they're unreal, man. And every single one of them, like such a legit, nice people, lovely guys. So obviously, I was like, I'm gonna go down there. There'll be some heads down there. I'll be able to reconnect with people. So like one of the first people that I bumped into was Alfie Green. Oh, yeah. So obviously I've been watching his stuff on like Instagram and just following and seeing what he's up to. So like I'm like there and I had a couple of drinks and I'm like I sort of like let on to him. I was just like, you Alfie Green? And he's just like, yeah. He's like, what? he's like, you're Chris Illabaca. And I was just like, yeah. And then that was it. We just sort of connected from there. We exchanged numbers. I obviously told him this what I wanted to do. I was looking into setting this clothing brand and what it was all about and how I wanted to create opportunities for the lads. And we want to travel, get back into content creating and just, yeah, let's just have a good time with it. And he was just like, let's do it, man. So obviously he was down pretty much and obviously said straight away, like, you know, like a lot of the lads in London will be behind what you're doing, like, because we've sort of raised and grown up watching your content, watching your videos and been very inspired by what you guys did back in the day. So you're obviously going to have the support of the community straight away. And then it's just literally snowballed from there. Obviously, we've took more guys on. Everybody that we've got on the team right now, just lovely lads, literally lovely lads. They love parkour, they love training, pushing the boundaries, pushing the sport into this new realm that it seems to be going into now. And I just want the absolute best for them, really. And that's sort of what's brought us to where we are today.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love all of that. That's like what got me excited and why, you know, I've even had, you know, my own hand in building brands for a lot of the same exact things, you know, and I just love that whole thing, you know, just traveling, making content, being part of something, adventure, helping people grow into themselves and giving them a life that they can really explore and do that, which is amazing. Can I ask who is all on the team? I don't know who's like official, or I don't even know what, you know, this stuff is all, maybe it hasn't been totally, it's pretty young. You guys got started like what, a couple, like 6 to 8 months ago, not if that.
Not that long ago.
Yeah. And
so to be fair, man, like I feel like I have to put a cap on things because I just love parkour so much. So I'm coming across people and I'm just like, I love them. I want them to be a part of it. And it's just like, it's crazy, man. Because I guess a lot of the lads sort of communicated. They're like, you know, we'll probably have to stop. We'll probably have to stop letting people in, otherwise people won't know who we are. And you know, it's like a lot of the lads are like, you know, you can clearly see other teams and what they're all about and stuff like that. But I think for me as well, like parkour's like worldwide for me. So like the connections that I've built up over the years, there's been people when I've stepped back into the community that have reconnected with me straight away and been like, oh, I'm doing this. And yeah, it's great what you guys are doing. Send us some clothes. I'll support what you're doing. And it's like, I can't stop that from happening. But yeah, we do have like a core UK team, which consists of Alfie Green, Jaden Clark, Lawrence Rook, James Moore, Harrison Fernandez, Abdullah West, and Arthur Franks. And
powerhouses, I mean, that's a lot of.
It's a bit of a squad, like it's a bit of a squad. But we've also got young Martin Sang, like, but it's been hard because I think he's been really busy with his college and stuff like that, and he has a lot of commitments right now, so he hasn't been able to like do the tour with us and stuff like that, which was really, it was sad that he couldn't make it and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. We might just keep growing. We might just take over. Maybe everybody will become a Breach athlete.
Yeah. Hey.
Everybody wearing the brand. Let's just go. Let's just take over.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, we can make it whatever we want. That's the beauty of these things. And, you know, there's certain, you know, store is store, but you don't need to be store, you know, like anyone can be. I love the way that it's very communal, and I like all the stuff you guys have been putting out, and I feel the vibes, you know, and it's all about that vibe. Can I ask what the origin of the name Breach? I mean, I like it. I can like feel it, you know, I almost don't have to know, but I am curious how you landed on that.
I don't know. Maybe there's an element of unknown there, really. So like we were just sat around a table, drinking Starbucks and trying to figure out what we were going to do. And there was names flying around the table. And I was just like, I want to do this. I was like, I've got this fire in my belly. I'm just going to do it. I was just like, basically in my mind, I was just like, we're just going to do it. Yeah. So then Stevie just said Breach. And I was just like, I like that. Got a ring to it.
I love it.
I'm not too sure what it means. And obviously if you literally go and Google the definition of it, you'll probably just get like a lot of whales just like hopping out of the water.
I'm thinking like, what I think of is plowing through the door, like you're breaking in to something, and then there's valuables in there, but also maybe. I feel or maybe not, but maybe you're on a mission of sorts, you know, and I like it because that's
it's nice to hear that from your perspective, because obviously there's so many different ways that it could be translated, but I think it was just about breakthrough. And like Stevie, like I say, my younger brother's like really on that exploration vibe, and like I guess when he said that name, it sort of resonated with him, but it also resonated with me, and I was just like, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
no, I
go.
love the name. I really do. I think it encapsulates a lot of, you know, what you guys are about and what parkour can be about and what it, you know, it has been about for me. And I definitely resonate too. So big fan of that.
Good man.
And then with transferring, let's see here, the tour actually just happened. I did get a chance to check out the video. It was awesome. You know, I got to visit Fluidity Free Run, I think 2 years ago almost now.
Yeah.
And shout out to those guys. They crush it, and they have like a really great community building out there as well.
Fraser Meek, Craig Robinson, they're the boys doing it big down there.
Yep. How is that tour going, and what's next for the tour?
Yeah, so man, you know what? I'd honestly love to just quit my job.
Yeah,
get my family on a coach, fill it full of smelly athletes, and just drive around the world and just do gnarly things. That's what I'd love to do. Unfortunately, I can't. So that tour sort of stemmed out of a conversation that was having with Lawrence, and Lawrence is just like, he's like this ball of energy, just like, let's do things. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go. So obviously it just stemmed out of that, like, let's do a tour. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, let's do a tour. Why not? That'll be fun. Obviously, working a full time as a manager and being a dad and trying to run a brand and doing all that, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
But we did it, man. We pulled it off. Yeah. To be fair, man, just to be completely transparent with everybody, we honestly started that tour with enough money to get us to the first location. That's belief, that, man. That's whole hardcore dreaming right there, man. I just thought, we're going to get to Fluidity, we're going to sell enough tickets, we're going to sell enough merch to get to that next location, and we're just going to do it from there, man. Yeah. And what was beautiful about the tour is obviously Daniel came along, man, and like, obviously, because it seems like Daniel's took like a step away from the community, but it's just not that way at all, man. But this was just a great opportunity for him to reconnect again. So we had 2 9-seater vans, because I don't have my D1 license, so I couldn't operate a 16-seater to carry the many men that we brought along with us. So we had 2 9-seater vans. Daniel was driving one, I was driving the other, and it was just an amazing trip. Hard work, very tiring, no doubt. We had a great team. Like, everybody we met with, like, from each location, from the people that were running the events, the people that owned the gyms, to the people that turned out at every spot, man. Like, couldn't have asked for any more, man. Like, it was literally a beautiful experience, man. And hopefully the first of many. Not too many, because we don't want to water it down, but, you know, I'm saying United States one day, man. I just put that right out there. Come through, man. I got a living room. You know, I've hosted people before. We'll get them all scattered about. I can move the furniture if we need. Yeah, I know. And it is really cool to see Danny, you know, getting back involved. Obviously, everyone selfishly wants to see more of him or whatever. But, you know, I respect and always understand too when people are doing their own thing. Can you, do you have any insight on like the stunt camera crew and how that also kind of like is in conjunction with like this resurgence with Breach and the projects that, you know, we're seeing Danny involved in, and what is happening there? Yeah, so obviously I think it just stemmed out of the friendship that Daniel's got with Will Sutton and like a genuine passion for film, and just looking at alternative ways of doing it. I mean, like, you've seen the stuff that they're doing. For anyone that hasn't, just go check them out on Instagram. Some of the stuff they're doing is crazy, and obviously Daniel recently had started rollerblading, got back into rollerblading again. So obviously you might have seen a few videos of him doing his thing. Did a little Apple commercial in the UK just recently on his skates. It's pretty fun. So obviously, he's just, there's a natural progression of moving with the camera. There's also rolling with the camera, and obviously there's a few other people involved in that. I'm not just going to go off the top of my dome there and start naming everyone involved, but I think there's about 4 or 5 people involved in that sort of thing. But yeah, they're doing amazing things, man, and hopefully we're looking to like do some more collaborations with those guys as well. So obviously at the very beginning of Breach, I was like, we need a promo video. We need to hit hard, tell the community what we're all about, show off the brand. Let's just go. Let's do it. And that's pretty much the conversation that I had with Will Sutton. And he was just like, yeah, I don't know if you've met Will. Like, I actually have not had the pleasure, but he's like the most humble, like calm, composed sort of guy. And he's just like, yeah, sure. I'm up for that. Let's do it. I'm just like, yeah, cool. Cinema grade camera. Let's go. So that's sort of how obviously got connected with those guys as well, man. I'm hoping to do some bits with them again in the future. Or do you see the latest thing they did with Star? That was pretty
was
cool,
amazing.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I love the collaboration. I think that's what it's all about, and it's like why, you know, we're gonna be seeing a lot more of that. It's so fun to cross each other's paths and create together.
This is what I'm all about, man. And this is what I'm all about. And I'm almost coming here, man, to let people know. I don't have anything against Instagram, by the way, man. But let's move back to YouTube, man. Let's get those.
Get on the tube, baby. I'm with you on that.
Let's bring the community back together. You know what I mean? And let's meet up. Let's just film everything and just make a massive video, man. Like, let's just capture those vibes. It's not the progression's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And hitting those one bang moves, and people are just like, oh, crazy, like. I mean, that's cool. Don't get me wrong, and I understand why you do it. Like, it's amazing, but just the thing that makes this thing that we've got so good is the community, man. It's everybody who's involved, and just I'm all about that collaboration, man. That's what I want to do. I want to pull people together. I'm honestly, dude, like the visions and dreams that I've got in my head of what I want to do for the future, like literally they're crazy, wild ideas, man.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
That's what they got to be, right?
Just they require collaboration. They require all the people going, yeah, I'm behind that. I'm with that. Like that. Yeah, I'm going to jump on board with that. You know what I mean? And that's how it was back in the day, man. That's how the whole community just exploded, because people were willing to get in their car and drive where they knew people were going to be. They were just driving to there because they had to be there, man, because the energy was just palpable. It was like you had to be there. You couldn't miss out. You couldn't be the one that watched the video and didn't actually make the actual events. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do.
And that energy was just like crazy. And it's there still. It's there still, man. Like literally everybody's got that. So let's just move away from Instagram and move back to YouTube.
I'm with you 100%. Like I think Instagram's dying the way that Facebook has already died. And I mean, I know this is my own personal opinions on it, but I feel you big time. I got love for everyone who's making the amazing content that does exist there, but I do feel like it is, I'm just with you. I really feel that too. I'm like, I want to see people bring it back to the community, bring all that momentum back to us, put it on YouTube, make it for us, and make it so that we can, because Instagram is the one who's benefiting from the model that we've kind of adopted more than the community is now, because and you know, for certain people it makes a lot more sense because of their situations, whatever. But that's it, man.
Let's connect with it. Let's see what made you go there in the first place. Let's see the fails. Let's see the process. Let's see the whole thing. I mean, it's beautiful just to have that finished product where it's like, oh my God, what have I just seen? That's going viral. Like, it doesn't always have to be that, you know what I mean? There's something beautiful about getting together with a bunch of guys and girls, training together, filming as much as you can, and just making a sick edit and just being like, yeah, I remember that, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. These are the memories that we're going to make and take with us for the rest of our lives, you know what I mean? And everybody that's involved in the community now, I'm telling you, it's going to continue to grow, and it's going to come out of that subculture and go into something a hell of a lot bigger. In the same way that skateboarding is completely like part of mainstream culture, you know, I believe that same thing could happen for parkour as well. So we're 100%. All going to, and it will. We're all going to be looking back and saying we were a part of that. You know what I mean? And obviously, it's just a beautiful time.
I mean, it is a beautiful time. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. And I think, you know, with you know, obviously Danny's really into film and cinema. I think that's really something that we might find a lot of us are more into. Like I certainly know that, like for me, that's why I feel this way about things, is I miss that too. I miss making a product, a finish, or a piece of art, really, like a fit in, and capturing a moment or a vibe, or even
but just not just that, it's creativity, man.
It's exactly, yeah. It's just about
having an idea and just going, you know, like sometimes we used to just film as much as we could, and then we'd find what we thought was the perfect song, and it was about building that, you know, and taking that vibe, and like the song that we used like resonated with how we felt on that day, and like I don't know, man, it's so much more vibesy than just like a 10-second video, which is amazing. And like you say, it's like complete credit to everybody, and the level is just like it's amazing. Do you know what I mean? It is amazing. But like, I'm gonna just keep banging this drum, man. Like to just say, like, come on, guys, let's get back together. Let's get back to those days where we meet up randomly in a forest somewhere in the middle of the UK and just start jumping around on some rocks for like a couple of days and film that. You know what I mean? And do some mad missions and go swim in a river. You know what I mean? Just film that. Like, people want to see that stuff. You know what I mean? People connect with that. So yeah, that's one of the passions that I've got, man, is just to get back into content creating. And I'm not quite ready to pick up a really crazy camera just yet. But just recently I went to, they had the Chase Tag event down in London just recently, right? So like, I was just like, oh yeah, someone was like, I think my friend Jason was sort of there. He was sort of helping out, looking after Jason Matten. Shout out to you. I don't know if anyone remembers that guy, but he asked me to come down to that. So I was just like, got off work early, jumped in the car, drove down to London, 3.5 hours, obviously arrived at that event. And yeah, just like the next day, everybody was meeting up, and there was people from Japan, there was people from Germany, there was people from the States, there was people from all over the gaff, man, like all in London. And they were like, yeah, we're all going out tomorrow to train. And I was just like, dude, I don't know if you guys know George Mayfield, but he's like an old school parkour head from back in the day. Okay. A very close friend of Danny's. We were staying at Alex Potts and George's house that night. So I said to George, is it okay if I take your GoPro out? And he was just like, yeah, sure. Here's a couple of spare batteries and a spare memory card. Go for it. And man, it was the best feeling ever. Like, I posted about it on my Facebook just recently, but I just don't even like Facebook as a platform. But I very rarely put my words out there. And the thing that I was trying to get across is that I loved being out there, man. I got right in the thick of it. I was stood on the wall. I only had a GoPro, you know, before. I was right in there, man. To be fair, man, those GoPros are like, they're next level, man.
They're next level, man. Pretty soon, I mean, most days I take my phone and my GoPro, and that's all I need, which that's pretty, it's liberating, to create and to capture things. It takes so much less carry or weight even now.
So I got straight in there anyway, man, and I started film. I just filmed as much as I could. And then I gave all the footage to Stevie because, like I say, man, technology, I stepped off. I stepped off a little bit with that one, man. Like, it's just like gone. And I mean, if a couple of hours or someone sat down with me and showed me the ropes, I would pick it up. I am pretty computer literate, but to be fair, I've got so much on. So I just gave all the content to Stevie. I said, here you go, make a video. So obviously it's like, let's go. A couple of hip hop tracks. Let's make it happen. So if anyone hasn't seen it on our YouTube channel, well, it's just WCT London or something like that, or Gathering. And it was literally just vibes, man. Like, we just went out, everybody was out there training. Obviously they'd gone hard the day before using at the Chase Tag event, so I know a lot of people were tired and stuff like that, but I was just out there and in the thick of it, getting all those angles, man. I was loving it, absolutely loving it. Like, so I don't know, man, you might see Chris Illabaca back on the camera someday again, and I'm back to making content. But at the moment we've just been linking up with people like Daniel Hempenstall. Shout out Daniel Hempenstall from down south. Connected through Jamie from Marrero, gave me his contact details, and obviously he was just like down to film with us. So obviously we've done some projects with him. Most recently working with Stevie Forster from Satori Media. Shout out to that guy. Another guy that just one conversation, he came through Harrison because Harrison had done bits with his company in the past and was like, oh, I know a guy. Daniel couldn't make this event, so obviously he was like, I'll do it. So I contacted him, and straight away he was just like, yeah, let's do it, man. It's going to be amazing. And I'm just like, there's no money, right? It's like, it's just kind of like, come along. Like, I'll just drive you. You'll kind of have to feed yourself as well. I don't even have money for that. But so he was just down, man. And like, I don't know if you've seen the video, like, but he smashed it out the park, man. And that's just episode number 1 of 5.
Wow. And he was there for the other 4 episodes as well.
Yeah. Amazing. So he filmed at each location, man. Yeah. And what was beautiful, man, is I didn't really have to prompt him to do anything. He just got stuck right in there, man. That's exactly what you want,
Yeah, 100%.
Get stuck in. Well, and he did, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds amazing, man. It sounds like everything's going really well, and I love to hear that and that collaboration, and you're just, it sounds like when you aligned with your mission, and when, after you felt like this fire that relit under you, that like the world kind of comes into focus. And things start to happen
completely.
And I don't know what that's like exactly, but up to the extent that maybe you're feeling it, because I don't have kids, I don't have like the same sense of probably wisdom that you probably gained from unfortunately losing a parent. But I know that I felt it, you know, I felt some of that stuff. And I think that's super important. Like, is there any, I know we talked about it a little earlier, but is there anything that you can like share on just how that shift changed for you?
It's so hard to explain, really. I guess it's probably just as a result of my dad being not here anymore. And then obviously there was I was thinking about my mom and thinking about my brothers, and we're just typical guys, like, and just don't really speak about how we feel, and everybody's just sort of bottled it up, and I could see there was great pain, you know what I mean? I could see that there was suffering going on through all of us, really. And it's, to be fair, man, it's been, I don't want to go completely into it, but it's been a mad ride. Like the last probably 4 or 5 years, there's been many losses in the family. There's just been so much crap going on, man. And you know, it just, like my dad passing away just seemed to be like, I just thought there can't be any more surely now. Like let's just breathe a little bit here, you know? And then, at that moment, I just didn't feel satisfied with what I was doing in my life, and just thought there's more. Like I've had so many visions and dreams, and I've shared so many visions and dreams with people over the year, and I just never followed through. Just never followed through with it. And it's like, I don't hold regrets, man, but I guess that's probably one thing that I could regret, is that I haven't seized the opportunity enough in my life. And I've had these great ideas, these great visions, but I've just never followed them through. And I don't know how or when. I can't even put my finger on a day that it happened. But I don't know what it was, but there was just like a fire inside my belly, basically. That's the only way I can describe it. It was like, do something and do it now, you know what I mean? And that was it. Like literally just like, I think my whole family's like kind of shocked with where I've brought it to already, you know? I'm just like, I've just thrown myself into it, you know what I mean? And I've not hopelessly, but with faith, I've just reached out into the community, and all I've been, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, I've just been met with open arms, man. And that's it. Doors have opened, and they continue to open. And it's like, I'm just going to keep going with it, man. Like I say, hopefully you're going to see more videos from us. You're going to see more collaborations. Let's make some sick clothes as well, man. Like while we're at it, and let's travel, man. Like I want to take the lads. I want to give the lads opportunities. I mean, for anybody watching and training parkour, I mean, could you ask for anything more out of life than doing what you love and actually earning a bit of money from it, or actually gaining experiences from it? Like, I mean, you can't ask for any more than that. I mean, how lucky and blessed we are to even be able to be in that situation compared to some of the people that struggle in our world. It's like, you're gonna grab it and take it by both hands, and that's what I want for these young lads that I've got on my team. So I don't know, I'm not completely sure of how big the audience is here, and how many people from the United States are watching, but if there's any jams going on, if there's anything going on, there's any events, there's any competitions, get our boys involved, and you will not be let down. They're beautiful lads, and they're going to come and tear shit up. Oh, shit, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, man. I've just realized.
No, it's all good.
Is it okay?
We got an explicit warning on every episode. I'm much worse usually than any guest, unfortunately.
I was hoping you wouldn't have had to put the warning up, man, but there it is.
No. It's always up for me. I can't. I'm terrible, so don't worry about it. People are used to it. They've heard much worse, trust me. No, I love that, man. I love the energy, and I really understand exactly what you mean by all that, actually. And I think that's huge, and that's, you know, that's something that you kind of wrestle with for a while, and that's what that, you know, I'm sorry for the, you know, whatever, the 4 or 5 years of the struggle, but you always come out on the other side of that with momentum. Like I see those moments in life. You load the rubber band, you feel like low, you feel struggle, but then you have potential that can slingshot you out of that the deep spot into like a really huge ascension. And I can feel that, man. I'm super hyped for you and excited for all the things that you're doing. You know, it's really amazing to watch the momentum you guys have built in such a short time already. Awesome.
So yeah, like I say, I've got big visions, big plans.
Anything you can share with us, or, you know, I know how it goes too. Yeah. Sometimes it's like once you got to that point where you're like, all right, I'm done talking about the dream, I'm going to do the one. Yeah. And I feel you big time on that.
That's sort of where I'm at, man. Like, I mean, like I say, when I think about talking about the dreams, I'm like, because I've been guilty in the past of verbalizing stuff and not actually following through, I kind of feel almost reserved to say things, but I'll just say it. No, I want to bring a parkour park to my local community. So for anybody that can remember back in the day what the parkour scene was like, there was people traveling from as far as Australia. We had people like Alan Anwar and Sean Wood coming to train in Morton in our hometown. Like, and literally at times there was hundreds of people around training. It was crazy. It got pretty crazy. There was young people that would obviously otherwise be steered into a life of crime that were just like completely absorbed by parkour and were like sold on it 100% and steered a lot of men that I still bump into today on a really good path. And that's something that really goes unsaid a lot about parkour, like the ability it has to steer people onto the right track and to give them a direction in their life. Now, some people might know, some people may not know. In the UK, we have a thing called an antisocial behaviour order, also known as an ASBO. And for some unbeknown reason, one of our local councillors decided to deem parkour as an antisocial behaviour in our hometown.
Really?
Which meant barbed wire went up everywhere. If you were caught doing it, you could get an ASBO, an antisocial behaviour order, which is basically the starting process of ending up in like either a juvenile centre or in prison, basically for which was crazy because I can see your face now and it's like
that irritates me. Obviously,
it's the opposite.
It's like because I resonate so. I mean, it put me on the path, like what you just said. It put me on the path. Parkour put me on this path of self-development and discovery and responsibility and not just fucking my life up, for lack. Sorry, but, see, I'll take it.
Yeah, you done.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're on it. But I mean, absolutely. And I know that this, I have been lucky enough to speak with Danny, and he stayed here for, he did a workshop or a couple of workshops in Colorado, which was awesome. And I know that this is part of his story as well. I used to be, I didn't care about my body. I mean, I always thought I was doing things healthy, but I would be doing drugs and I'd be partying and I didn't have direction in life until parkour gave me a reason to really want to apply myself. And for me, I mean, I know that it's the opposite and that's such a, I mean, what's the situation with that? Yeah. So
obviously, so they banned parkour effectively in our local area. And that was like 8 or 9 years ago. And they did nothing in the way of replacing it, nothing in the way of giving us a space at least where we could do it. It's crazy. And what's really upsetting about it is that crime rates in our area have just skyrocketed. God. There isn't any money, there's not any money making it up this end of the country really. So any sort of community projects, the non-existent youth centres are getting closed down. There's nothing for young people. There's almost no hope. Do you know what I mean? All they see is this glorified lifestyle going on in the rap game right now. You know what I mean? Just like, they just all want to be gangsters kind of thing. And it's sad to see because it's just like, it's just not what should have been going on. I mean, with what we're talking 9 years down the line right now in our local area, we should have 3 or 4 centres just popped up everywhere with the guys that were looking at it at that time as young people now coaching. Like that's how it should have progressed, but it didn't. It just got completely shut off and that was it. And that was the end of it. So my mission, my dream, which was always going to be like in 5 years from now, I'm going to do this when Breach is in a better position financially and I can finally maybe commit to it full time. I don't know. I can then start to do this. And then I was at an event at Nova City. Shout out Nova City. I was at Project, whatever it's called. What's it? Project Underground. Yeah, Project Underground. Last year, was it last year? It might have been last year or the beginning of this year. I think it was last year with Danny. And I bumped into an old friend called Nathan Salmon from the Midlands of England. And he runs like these centres called the UTX Academies. I don't know if you've seen them.
Not sure.
It's sort of like parkour and tricking combined. And I was basically having a similar conversation with him and saying how, he was asking me what my goals were and where I saw myself in 5 years and 10 years from now, what was I going to be doing? And I just explained to him what I wanted for my local community. And he just basically was like, what are you waiting for? And I was just like, what do you mean? He's just like, it's there. You just need to go and take it. It's like, he's like, you don't understand. He's like, your name in the community still holds so much weight. Like when you do decide to step out and do something as big as that, the community will be behind you. Not only that, like you can do it. It's just like, you've got nothing to wait for. Just go ahead and do it. So yeah, that sort of brings me to where I'm at right now. That's my next mission is I want to build the best parkour park in the UK.
All up, man. I love it. I love it 100%. And I think I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm behind you. And I'd love to offer my assistance if there's any I can't offer, you know.
100%, man, for
you
sure.
Know? But
I told you about that collaboration, you know that.
Yeah, yeah. I love it, man. You know, and I think that's huge. I think that's exactly, you know, with competition, with World Chase Tag, being able to bring people together, I think that's another avenue that competition will eventually, you know, or sooner than later is going to be able to provide. Is I see us having these big competitions, planting a park with a competition, like create a unique spot that we leave behind permanently in a community spot for the public, you know. And that's one thing that I think these competitions will be able to offer as we move forward is creating like a vehicle, like some kind of funding basically, you know, and working with hopefully with the government as well. Obviously you got to get permits and things like this.
For sure, man.
But
for sure.
I know that that's going to be in our future and providing these public spaces. Yeah. You know, they've already done it.
To be fair, man, they seem to be popping up all over the States.
They're doing,
man.
Oh man, they're going. Yeah. And Denmark was the probably the lead example of all that. They were
100%.
They were like, they like, I don't know what's going on in Denmark, but they're like, we'll get parkour on board. Like it was just happened. It wasn't even like part of their identity or anything in some ways. It's just like, we're just Denmark. We know what we're doing. We provide for people.
I think with our local council, there was a lot of lack of understanding and there was a lot of fear. I mean, we come from this quiet sort of town and it's like, there was people just sending it. Just like, and obviously for like a lot of the older generation, they're probably just like, oh my God, what's going on? Yeah. So they were so confused by it. And I think that's where the pressure came from. I think the police were getting called out all the time. And then obviously we'd see the same police officers all the time. And it was just like, oh, sorry about this, guys. You know the drill. I'm going to have to move you on. Yeah, you can go down the road there and train over there for a little bit. And it's just like, where was that person inside our local council that was just like, hang on. These guys are collectivized. They've come together. They're getting stronger. They're organized. They're doing something positive with their lives. Let's like nourish this. Let's give it more. And like this could be the basis of us not needing the youth centers, and we don't need all that. We could just open up a center and people can come and practice parkour, and this is good. Where was that person? They weren't there, but they are now.
Hey. So no, I love it, man. Yeah, it's tough because ultimately, well, I don't know. I mean, ultimately the roots of parkour, you want to be able to have those spaces, safe places to train, but also it's very meaningful to a lot of us, including myself, to take your training to somewhere that's not meant to be trained on.
Yes.
Not necessarily
100%.
that you're trying to trespass or violate, but 100%. Trying to repurpose obstacles.
That's going to happen, man. And the world needs to understand that is what parkour is.
Yeah.
That's it. So when we're talking about a center, we're just talking about a safe environment where people can practice and learn and then eventually take it on board and do whatever they want with it. You know what I mean? Some people stay inside the parks, and in my opinion, that's okay. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. Yeah. Either way, you're doing good. So that's all that matters to me. And yeah, that sort of brings me to where I'm at today, man. So I'm just making tiny little steps each day. Like I say, I'm pretty much full on. Like my time is like so overcommitted, to be fair. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's why collaboration's important, man.
Yeah, but that's why I'm so glad that you're making some time for us here, and we'll make sure that, you know, everyone. I'll put all these links up in the description to your YouTube channel, to the Instagram, to you know, wherever else. It's really important that, you know, help spread these messages, because this is really important to me too. I want to help support you guys and everyone doing their thing here in the community.
Thank you.
Yeah, brother. Is there anything else that you want to discuss? I mean, I'll let you. I know your kids are probably finally asleep. You probably are tired. You probably need to like get you some rest yourself. Let you go.
Back to work tomorrow. So yeah, man, I feel like we could probably end it there, I guess. Like, so if there's any more questions you've got or anything like that, and
you know, we'll just have you back on when those questions start to pile up again. I would love to have you, you know, continue the conversation. That's
awesome, man. So all I will say is, yeah, to everybody watching, go support Breach. You know what we're about. We're a community brand. We're all about collaboration, bringing people together, the love, this community. It's all there, man. So get involved, guys. Get involved.
Get involved, gang. All right, we'll see you soon.
Take care, brother.
All right, gang. That was it. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Remember to go into the description, check out all the links. You can follow Breach, you can follow Chris, you can follow their journey, and you can follow ours as well. So I hope you guys get involved. If you want to support the podcast in any way, shape, or form, there's a few ways to do that in the description as well. Number of them being listen, subscribe, comment, and engage with us. And then, of course, leave reviews that are 5 fat stars in the sky, like a constellation. And, you know, if you really want to get super down, we even have a Patreon page, which will eventually become a donation page on our website. And we will hopefully host some other cool stuff like crypto if you guys want to get involved in that. I know that that's part of our future here at Height Drop. So much love to everyone who's a part of this community and a part of the broader community of parkour people and just positive people, human beings, life, what the fuck ever you want to make it. It's all the same, baby. We're all one, right? So I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.